Chapter 37, Aunt Ororo. Time skip, balcony. Madison was outside, taking in the scenery. Her mind completely blank. She could see Johnny flying past, and she rolls her eyes playfully and shaking her head before noticing the weather slowly changing from sunny to raining. Madison looks at her hands, but notices her powers wasn't starting it, and she looks at the sky again. What the hell? She could see a figure closer. Her silver hair flowed like moonlight, and her eyes glowed with a soft blue-white glow of a brewing storm. She looks confused at first before her breath was caught. It was her Aunt Ororo. Madison blinked to see if it was a trick before she notices Ororo is still in front of her. "Auntie," Madison whispers, which causes Ororo to do a little smile. The wind around her rippled like it recognized its queen. Ororo lifted a hand, 2 fingers tapping the side of her temple to signal that she's saying, "I see you, little one." Then she winked. Before Madison could take another step, the clouds above rumbled, lightning cracked across the sky like a parting curtain, and Ororo dissolved into a swirl of wind and mist. Gone. Madison stood there with her heart pounding. She grabbed the balcony railing more tightly, whispering, "Okay, no way that just happened." Lightning flashed again, and then a voice yelled out, "Madison!" Madison jumped so hard, she nearly tripped over her own feet. Johnny burst onto the balcony doors, drowning wet. "Madison, Madison, Madison!" He stopped in front of her. What the actual hell was that? The weather went from sunny to raining for 10 seconds. Madison turned, rain dampening her hair, her face pale but stunned. "It wasn't me." Johnny opened his mouth to argue, because of course he did, but then he saw her expression, really saw it. The confusion, the awe, the disbelief, and the fact that her hands wasn't glowing. Johnny slowly lowered his hands, flames flickering out. "Oh," his stare softened, "you really didn't do it." Madison turned back toward the sky, a small, shaky exhale escaping her. "No," she whispered, "and you're never gonna believe who did." Madison thinks for a moment and decided that her powers must have created a clone of her to talk to her. Chapter 38, Nightmares. Time skip, night. Madison walks over to her bed and she hears footsteps. She looks up and she sees Johnny walk in. "Shouldn't you be in your room?" Madison asks as she grabs the cover to get into her bed. "What? I can't cuddle with my favorite girl," Johnny says as he walks over to her bed. She chuckled softly as she gets into bed alongside Johnny, and she cuddles up to him. She breathes out softly as she drifts off to sleep. The nightmare. Sleep came quickly, peace did not. The world around Madison darkened, the moonlight twisting into shadow as the floor beneath her dissolved. Madison looks around at the emptiness before hearing a helmet open, and she looks over to a corpse and her eyes widen. "Holy shit," Madison whispered before she sees a woman walk out of the helmet. "A Wolverine. I wondered when I'd get one of you. You're one of Xavier's," a woman said as she walks over to 2 figures behind Madison, which made Madison turn around as she feels a strange connection to one of them. "Uncle Logan," Madison whispers to herself as she looks at one of Guy in yellow. You know him. You know Chuck," a guy in red asks as she looks at the woman. "Oh, I knew him. We shared a womb," the woman said as she stopped walking. "Tried to strangle the sly little fellow with my umbilical cord." "Amen, I've never loved roommates, mine's blind," the guy in red said before finishing with, "except she can see cocaine, for some reason." The guy in red looks over to Wolverine. "You want to chime in, Your Majesty? I'm dying here." "Who are you?" Wolverine asks as he looks at the woman. "Charles Xavier's twin, Cassandra Nova," Cassandra said as she smirks. You two are cute. I have a good feeling about this." Madison slowly gets a bad feeling, but she stays where she is. "And I've been trying to catch this little firefly for years," Cassandra said as she lets the guy in red and Wolverine go before pointing to Johnny, which Madison follows the point at, and she sees him. "Johnny," Madison whispers as her tone of voice slowly changes to worried and scared. "Haven't I, Johnny?" Cassandra asks as she walks over to him. "Oh, you picked the wrong time to make new friends." "Oh, Johnny told us all about you." The guy in red speaks up. "Maybe shut up now," Wolverine told him. "Yeah, maybe don't," Johnny tells him as well. Madison watches as everyone is talking over each other, and she sees Cassandra telekinetically pull all of the skin off of Johnny's body. "No," Madison screams as she watches the bones of Johnny fall to the floor. Time skip, reality. Madison's body jerked in bed. Power exploded from her palms, and her Johnny, who had been sleeping peacefully next to her, was suddenly catapulted off the mattress like a human projectile. He slammed into the floor with an undignified yelp. Blankets tangled around him like he'd lost a fight with a laundry basket. "Johnny!" Madison yelled as she bolted up as she woke up, gasping, her hands glowing with dying sparks of phoenix energy. He groaned somewhere near the foot of the bed, pushing himself upright with a look of someone who had just reconsidered all of his life choices. "Okay," he said, wincing. "Remind me never to cuddle you after a horror movie marathon." Madison notices Johnny on the floor as her eyes teared up from the nightmare, which he noticed. Johnny crawled toward her, blanket trailing behind him like a defeated cape. Hey, babe," his voice softened, threaded with concern. "What happened?" Madison couldn't answer, words stuck behind fear, but she looked at him like he had died in her arms. Johnny froze, his bravado broke. He reached up and cupped her face carefully, as if she was made of glass and wildfire at once. "Madison, I'm right here," Johnny said softly as he rubs her cheek. Madison's lip trembled, and then she finally breathed. "Cassandra, she killed you," Madison whispered. Johnny blinked. "Wait, me? Why does everyone want to kill me? Is it my face? It's my face, isn't it?" Despite everything, a tiny, broken chuckle escaped her. Johnny smiled, relieved. "There it is, my girl." He climbed back onto bed, pulling her against him slowly this time. "I'm not going anywhere," Johnny reassures her. Madison nods as she rests her head on his chest, but doesn't fall asleep. Chapter 39, Proposal Plans. Time skip, next couple of months. Johnny paces in his room as he thought to himself, knowing that Madison's still having the nightmares but wants to do something for her. "Okay, I need to book a flight as I know Reed won't allow me to use the jet," Johnny mutters to himself. Something about responsibility and non-mission approved frivolous combustion holidays, whatever Star Trek nonsense he said. He grabbed his phone and tapped the phone screen once. Nothing happened, so he tapped again, harder. "Why is this so complicated?" Johnny groaned. "All I want is to fly my girlfriend to Italy, propose, eat pizza that will ruin every future pizza, and convince her I'm not going to die anytime soon. Is that too much to ask?" As though summoned by the universe, or more likely, by Johnny's theatrical whining. Reed poked his head in through the door, eyebrows raised like judgmental parent. "What are you doing?" Reed asked. Johnny froze mid-pace, mid-gesture and mid-life crisis. "Nothing," he lied too quickly. "Why?" Reed stepped fully inside, crossing his arms. "You're talking to your phone like it insulted your intelligence." "It did," Johnny shot back. "It's mocking me, silently, like you do." Reed sighed. "If you're trying to book a trip, the Baxter jet is not an option. We've discussed this. A personal vacation is not." "Mission approved," Johnny finished in a perfect Reed impression voice. Yes, I remember, Captain Buzzkill, but this isn't just a vacation, it's important." Reed's eyes softened a fraction. "Is this about Madison?" Johnny's shoulders dropped. "Look, man," Johnny muttered, rubbing his arm awkwardly. "She still wakes up shaking sometimes. She still looks at me like she's waiting for some cosmic punchline. I want her to see the future, our future. I want her to picture something other than losing me." Reed blinked, momentarily stunned that Johnny's storm human torch, chaos incarnate, was being sincere. "And Italy is the answer?" Reed asked cautiously. Johnny grinned, confidence returning like the flip of a switch. "Dude, it's Italy. Romance is basically in the air there. If love had a smell, it'd be Italian pizza. Reed pressed his hand to his face. Please tell me you have an actual proposal plan. Johnny lifted a small velvet box from his nightstand, flipping it open. The ring sparkled warm, golden, almost firelit, just like Madison. Reed stared. Oh, he whispered, voice cracking with something dangerously close to emotion. Johnny, that's... Johnny snapped the box shut. Yeah, don't get all sentimental on me. I have a reputation. Reed cleared his throat. Then book your flight and don't explode. No promises. Johnny finally tapped the screen just right, and the phone unlocked. He stared at it like he'd defeated a final boss. Ha, who's laughing now?